Oh man, my ninjas. So, do y'all want the good news or the bad news first? Let me know. Bad news first. Bad news first. It's just me. It's just me. All right, this is the Three Ninjas Podcast. It's anime analysis by African Americans, comic book commentary by coloreds. More reviews from me and you, your mom and your cousin too. As usual, I go by the name of Domino, aka Full Metal Smacker Bitch, aka Womb Raider, aka the Bulbasaur Ambassador. And what's Bulbasaur's number in the Pokedex is number 1. Ain't that a bitch? Aka the Lone Wolf, aka the Last Ronin, aka 1 is the loneliest number. Just me, guys. It's only me. So, Hesh as well has decided to drop out of the race. Hesh is no longer a part of the dojo as well. Just me. So, what this live is, I'm going to tell y'all right now, these are the best numbers I've seen. When we've gone live, these are the best numbers I've ever seen. So, just like y'all missed us, I missed y'all. So, what this live is for y'all to ask questions, anything y'all want to know, anything y'all want to get off y'all chest, anything y'all want to ask me. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't really have a script. I just didn't want to leave y'all in the dark for too much longer because I've been seeing a lot of comments on past YouTube videos. I've been getting a lot of DMs. People leave comments on pictures that got nothing to do with the show. And I'm like, I was gonna do this last week, but then it was a holiday on Monday and my girls were here and I couldn't, get time away from them to do this exactly how I wanted to. So now I got a little bit of free time. They're occupied. I get to come on here and do this to tell you that Three Ninjas Podcast, as you know it, or the entire show, might be done. The dojo doors might be closed. All depends on what we do by the end of this conversation. Wherever the dojo want to take it, whatever the dojo want to do, that's where we gonna take it. So, from last episode, what happened was Bobby shot us a text saying that he don't want to do it no more. He want to concentrate on other ventures. Cool, fine, whatever, right? So we put the episode out on Wednesday, and then here comes not the backlash, but the comments and the sad faces and the disparaging things. So people leaving comments on the YouTube, we getting DMs, this, that, and the third, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let it rock for a little bit. I'm gonna give Hesh a week, to see how he feeling about things, see if he'll hit me up, just for him to I guess get all his feelings together, what he wants to do. But I made a decision where we were getting too many comments. And I felt like a lot of people were let down or sad that first the news that Bobby was leaving, and second, we didn't know what the fuck we was gonna do. So then I hit Hesh on maybe a Thursday or Friday or something like that. And I was like, hey, so what you want to do, dog? Like Hesh said, we could do the tandem. We could just, 2-man this. We could find a third. We can get guest hosts. We can do whatever. And then, I was like, hey, what you want to do, dog? He said, give me till tomorrow. I'll let you know. So then tomorrow came, maybe around 3 something in the afternoon, 4 something in the afternoon. He said, yeah, I think I'm out too. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. Now it's just me. I am here. And I want to say, I think this was doomed from year 3. Right? I want to say that I have different feelings about why they both left, which I'll probably get into at some point. So when Hesh said he was leaving, I didn't try to convince him. I haven't talked to either of them since. No, I'm lying. I talked to Bobby since then. And, we have this YouTube. We have 1,000 and something subscribers. And I was like, you give a fuck what happened to the YouTube? He said, nope. That was about 3-4 weeks ago. I don't think I talked to either one of them since. Text wise, I mean, me and Hesh have briefly talked in the Dojo Discord. Other than that, I don't really think me and Bobby have communicated at all. And like I said, I think they left for different reasons. Bobby said he wanted to focus more on his memes or creating videos or whatever. I don't even know exactly what Bobby wants to do, but I know that he said he wanted to get back into doing his video memes and stuff like that. Yeah, I think Bobby left for like selfish reasons, and I don't think Hesh wanted to work. I don't think Hesh wanted to do more work than he was already doing with his 9 to 5. I don't think he wanted to do anything extracurricular. And I think with Bobby leaving, and he knew that would leave the work that was cut into thirds into a half, he was like, nah, I think Hesh enjoys his free time more than he enjoys actually like working, like doing stuff to help the show. And I told him that maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. I was like, yo, I don't think y'all give a fuck about the show, like as a whole. And then I think they mildly took offense to that, but then, as fate would have it, they're not here. Even though Bobby said maybe like the end of 2022, maybe beginning of 2023, that this might be his last year. And I knew this time may come, and I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do when it did. Hesh tried to quit last year. He tried to say, well, all this is like, speculative. This is, my thoughts, or, everything's from me. None of this is the actual truth. As of right now, there's 4 sides to this story: mine, Hesh, Bobby's, and the truth. But Hesh tried to quit last year, and he said it was basically the studio cost. And I was like, all right, so what if I take up your end of the studio cost? Now what? And he was like, all right. Now, Hesh is a team player, but like I said, I don't think he wants to work. If it takes time away from his alone time, him playing video games, hanging with his girl, just all around free time, because Sunday is the only day that we get to do anything where we are not at our 9 to 5s. And then having to come and record or go to the studio, I guess, takes more time away from him. And then during the week, he has to edit the audio of the show. So I think, Hesh left because of that. Again, it's not set in stone. I'm not going to speak for Hesh or say anything he didn't say. This is purely what I think. If it takes time away from what he wants to do, which is, I guess, whatever he wants to do, which is, he came on here 200 some episodes, said he don't do basically anything on the weekend. So I guess he wants more time to do that. I don't know. Bobby, on the other hand, his departure doesn't make the most sense to me, because with you saying that you're leaving because you want to pursue or you want to pick back up past ventures, when essentially you put the burden on yourself, because as y'all know, Bobby does the video aspect of the podcast, and he records it, he sets up all the cameras, the lighting and stuff like that. He edits the shit, he edits the entire episode plus the clips, what you saw on YouTube, whether you saw it on TikTok, whether you saw it on Instagram. He cut up every single solitary thing. And I guess with that, he got burnt out, and he said he was basically getting away from what he originally started doing, what originally got all of you here, I guess. So y'all came from his Instagram page and y'all came to follow the pod, and all 3 of us kept y'all here. But I guess he wants to get back to that. I don't know if it's a creative thing. I don't know if he has some opportunities that fell upon him. I don't know. But yeah, it was like a self-inflicted burden, and I didn't get it, because me nor Hesh asked you to do what you were doing for the podcast as far as the video. So the example I always use is, the person riding the bike, and they take the stick and they stick it in their bike tire, they fall, then they blame the bike. So I guess he was trying to play like an algorithm game, or, trying to cut up clips to see what would hit on YouTube or on these different websites or whatever, and he was tiring himself out, but that was a thing that we never asked of him. So for you to say, hey, I'm burnt out, over a sudden, that's not obligated for you to do, because we could have went about, if 3 grown men would have sat down and actually talked about this, or about another role we could have took this, where it was like, we own this ourselves. If we want to drop 1 episode a month, we can drop 1 episode a month. We can do episode every 2 weeks. We can structure this however we want. Like, no one really has, we don't have to go to the studio. We can do this from home. As you can see, everyone has a setup as to where we can do it from home. We've done this plenty of times before. And like I said, his departure, saying that it's stopping him from doing other things. I'm like, you did this. You don't have to stop. You can just lessen your own load and do both. But ultimately, I just think they both didn't want to be here, and they both didn't want to do the show. And that's why they're not essentially here now, I guess, because, you know, it would have been nice for them to give y'all a reason as to why they left, or to hear it from their own mouths as to why they decided not to do the show anymore. But I didn't deem it necessary to, I guess, call them back here. Because, I mean, like, if you quit a job, your boss not gonna call and ask you to do overtime. So I'm like, it's really no point. Niggas took this shit out they bio quick. I don't know, man. But it just didn't make sense to me. And then Bobby said something through text that kind of made me upset. And it's just a lot of shit I don't get. So, also in the text message, he said, I guess it was the same day that he told us he was leaving or whatever. And he said he don't feel like the podcast is growing. And I'm like, well, if you don't work at something, how the fuck you expect it to grow? Let's see. Chris Dorsey says it's like climbing Mount Everest but quitting halfway. Like, what the fuck, Dom? I know you mad. All that work is just gone. I mean, we had some good times, man. We had some great times. Wait a minute. What's up, Bobby? Bobby said, so the point I was getting to before you I guess came in chat was, you said you felt like the podcast wasn't growing. And my response to that was, draft a new ninja, keep it growing. It all depends what y'all want to do by the end of this broadcast. And I'm like, well, if you don't work at something, how do you expect it to grow? We stopped doing No Smoke Fridays. We stopped going to conventions. When 2020 happened, everybody know what happened with 2020. From the years to come, nobody wanted to do anything. Yeah, niggas just stop like working or stop putting in effort. Like, if all we doing is recording and posting videos and we not doing any marketing, if we not doing what the people know us for or like us for, if we not putting the effort in, it's gonna stagnate. But then, when didn't I work at? So Bobby's in chat right now for anybody that's listening on audio, right? So Bobby says, what didn't I work at the No Smokes? No, it was more so everything outside of the video content. So I'm like, hey guys, we need to go to this convention. Hey, we need to do No Smokes. Hey, we need new merch ideas. Hey, we need new ideas, period, for marketing, exposure, this, that, and the third. Every time I tried to come to Hesh or Bobby with like, hey, y'all got any ideas? Y'all got something in the works? They was just like, nah. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? I was like, we need to, if we gonna get this thing, if we gonna get certain eyes on stuff, we obviously have to put more sweat equity in. We have to put more money in. And I felt like asking that with like certain verbiage and body language from y'all. We were doing No Smokes. We did, I want to say, in a span of the last 4 years since 2020, we did less than 10 No Smokes. when we were doing the Pokemon Gym No Smokes, we were doing like 2-3 a month. Like there's a year where we put out maybe like 2-3 no smokes a month. And then over the last 4 years, we probably have less than 10. So we were doing technically we were doing no smokes, but we weren't doing them at the clip that we were doing them before. With different software make it easier or faster to edit. Y'all mentioned Vimeo before, Blue Sonic says. No, I don't think so, because Bobby has a particular way of cutting content, and he knows what works and what doesn't work, what may hit, what may not hit. So we left that up to him. I didn't want an AI or algorithm to fucking, base our content off of that. And that's Bobby's specialty. He's the genius at that. So, and he wasn't gonna let no computer tell him what to edit or nothing like that. I'm never getting my gym badge now. I mean, hey, at some point, man, I don't know. I want to say, as of right now, for everybody that's just coming in chat, the dojo doors have closed. For the foreseeable future, they are closed. Will they ever reopen? Will Bobby and Hesh ever come back? I don't know. But for the foreseeable future, I don't think so. If Bobby's in chat right now, you can ask him. You can ask Hesh. You can send them DMs. I don't know. I'm just going off what I've been told and what's happening. Robbie says, I don't know if I can agree with y'all saying find the next and keep going like nothing happened. Nah, I don't want to, but I just don't want to stop this avenue because, things change all the time with podcasts. We've seen podcasts have so many iterations, so many things have happened. They change co-hosts, they change structures, they change where they record. They everything is, nothing is finite. So it's willing to change year by year, episode by episode. And I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, Bobby said the podcast wasn't growing. And I'm like, if we don't do what we were doing the first 3 years, it's not gonna grow. I feel like 2020 really stagnated us. And then like I said, it was doomed from, I feel like, year 3 or 4, because when I kept asking them, hey, what do y'all want out of the podcast? Now, what I wanted was, initially, it was just, I wanted to get my friends together and talk about all this nerdy shit, right? But then as I see the fan base that we're getting, I'm like, oh, we can actually do something with this. Like, we can actually grow this. And then when No Smokes got introduced, I'm like, y'all like those? That's another aspect. Y'all like merch? Y'all wanted merch? We gave y'all merch. That's another aspect of it. We was going to these cons and conventions. We did something at BlurCon. That was something that we could have kept doing. That's another avenue. That's something else that we can get into. But, once we stop doing the things that we used to do, the things that people like, it's like, of course this shit is not going to grow. Since Christmas, we had 2 posts go viral. So our Instagram numbers went up. We had a couple posts, a couple videos on YouTube get some traction. Our YouTube numbers went up. Our YouTube numbers been going up steadily. When we was posting videos every other day or every day, we were getting like, I want to say like 5 subscribers a day, something like that. For like 5 months, 5-6 months. Can't let one person let the empire. Phil Kaiser says, can't let one person let the whole empire fall. That wouldn't be right for all of us fan supporters of the dojo. Edwin says, was it ever a possibility of going to guest spots of different podcasts? I think I introduced that to one. I think I introduced that one time to them, and I tried to hand that to Hesh. I forgot who I handed it to, but I was like, yo, this podcast had reached out to us to do like a guest spot or whatever, and we need to reach out to them. And then I think we looked at the numbers or what they was about, and we was all like, nah. Nobody ever actually came to us and said they want us on their podcast. I think we're kind of like the outliers of the geek podcast community, where it's like we see a lot of these other, people that are in our realm, the blurred realm. They kind of congregate together, but nobody ever reaches out to us. Like they'll go on other people's podcasts or they'll guest host on this show. And it was like me, Hesh, Bobby just sitting here and nobody reached out, and we got, I feel like, a better show than all y'all. Robbie says, here's my thing, right? I've been up there, 3 times. There's a dynamic that all 3 have individually that I've seen in person. Bringing a different take takes one dynamic away and introduces a new one. May not be the same thing that brought someone initially, which is right. And that's something that we don't have to say. Like, I'm not gonna hype myself up and say, oh, we got the best chemistry. I'll let y'all say it. I've seen that comment I don't know how many times where it was like, you, Hesh, and Bobby have the best chemistry I've seen on any podcast for a trio, duo, group that I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, I think we do too. I think I would have loved to ride this thing out for 10 years, 15 years. I would have loved to grow this thing to what I imagined in my mind it could be. I would have loved to turn No Smoke Fridays into an actual tournament, like a Evo or some shit like that. Like, I would have loved to do that. I would have loved to get to a point where, certain members of the dojo have certain things that they do. Rob makes mugs and he fixes control. I would have loved to employ him. We would have loved to do that and have him part of the dojo, this like a LLC, and have him do something, and him, just market and use our platform to market him as much as we can. Y'all are my favorite podcast. Ron Savage, I appreciate that, man. Lord Dion says a true dynamic trio, strong enough where even missing one, the other 2 can carry till the other returns. I mean, I don't have to say it. So y'all are saying it for me. I don't know what to do. Personally, it didn't make any sense to keep, Bobby says, personally, it didn't make any sense to keep doing it for me because there was a conversation we had on the pod and Hesh said he couldn't make it a priority, which is fine. Not mad at it. I understand it. So that would be a conversation that we need to have as to, okay, if we want to keep this going, because it all boils down to a want to do this and not leave the people that we have brought on this journey with us and leave them hanging. So if there was a thing where it was like, hey, Hesh can't make this a priority, I don't even remember that conversation. So maybe y'all did it on one of them episodes where I wasn't there or had a side convo. I don't know. But I've never heard Hesh say I can't make this show a priority. And that's what I said before when I was like, y'all don't make, when I sent, and I'm speaking to Bobby, when I sent y'all that text where I was like, I don't feel like y'all give a fuck about this show. I don't feel like this is a priority to y'all. I didn't think it fell first, second, or third for y'all. I felt like y'all edited y'all shit. And then after that, y'all forgot about the show. Where me, on the other hand, this was on my mind 7 days a week. How can we make this show better? What more can we give to the fans? What kind do we have to go to? What else can we introduce? What can I do to make this show the best thing that it could be? But like I said, when we got one person that don't know what they want, and no, we got one person that don't care what happens, and we got one person that don't know what he wants to happen. So when I ask Hesh, what do you want out of the show? He don't know. He don't know whether he want podcast tours. He don't know whether he want to make this a business. He don't know anything. When I ask Bobby, it's just like, hey, I'm going to do the work. Whatever happens, happens. And that's not a philosophy I live by. So if we don't put the work in, you can't say whatever happens, happens, because that doesn't work in any other form of, that doesn't work in any other category, any other medium, any other form of entertainment. Like every now and then in music, it might work. You might put out a song and be a one-hit wonder. That's the only thing it might work. There's no way in basketball you could play a couple times like, hey, whatever happened, happened. I don't really care. Bobby says, Domino, you do a lot in multiple things, and it was a time where you said you got burned out multiple times doing multiple things, and you'll tell us we're not doing enough. And then I found a way to regulate that. So when it comes to everything I do, whether it be my 9 to 5, trivia, stand-up comedy, podcast, those are the 4 things I do. I found a way to do the podcast. I found a way to do stand-up. I found a way to do trivia in my 9 to 5 and still give myself enough time. It's all about what I prioritize and what I want to do. There was a time where I'm trying to do everything and I'm burning myself out. There was a time, but then when I actually sit down, remember when I said, all right, everybody stop? I stopped. I was like, all right, what the fuck do I want to do? I have this thing over here that I want to do, this thing over here that I want to do, all these other things I want to do. How can I get them done? And I found a way to get them done. Now, I already told you that the things I do as far as the videos and topics and the thumbnails, I told you it takes a majority of my week. I just talked about that before you hopped in chat. And like I told you in text messages, just so you think I ain't saying some shit that isn't true. I said this is a burden that you put on yourself. Me and Hesh didn't ask you to do that. It was a burden you laid on yourself. Now, granted, you did that because you wanted to see the show progress. You wanted one of these videos to hit. You want to see, you know, what you can make shake with however many videos. I don't know if it's quantity or quality at this point, but at any point you could have said, you could have texted us. We could have had a conversation at the studio, and you could have said, hey, I'm tired. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back away from doing so much, making all these fucking thumbnails and topics. How about y'all come up with some topics? How about y'all come up with some thumbnails? I'll make whatever videos a week to the point where I'm not so burnt out. All it is a conversation. If people sat down and had a conversation, everything can be straightened out. There's no malice. There's no beef. If anybody wants to switch up how we run this shit, we run this shit. This is ours. Nobody can tell us what to do or how to run this. What is it? Negro Jump. Negro Jump in like a 12-year span, a 12-month span might put out 10 episodes. They can do whatever they want. We can do literally whatever we want. People, you know how many people, once you said you were leaving, you know how many people suggested, hey, I can help with videos. I'll learn this. Hey, if y'all need this, I just don't want to see the show. You know how many people came up to us or came up to me, shot me a DM, said something in the comments? You know how many people? It was more than I thought. It's more than a handful. People that don't have to, just because they don't want to see the show end. And I'm like, if you could have done that and didn't do that, Bobby, I felt like you just wanted to leave. That's my personal opinion. Because, like I said, you could have easily said, I don't want to do X, Y, Z because I'm tired. I'm going to take it down to this. Instead of editing the whole video and making 8 clips out of that one episode, maybe I'll edit the video and do 2 clips in a short. Or maybe I'll do whatever, just so I'm not tired and burning myself out, so I got time to do other shit during the week. It could have been an easy conversation. And like I said, with Hesh, I remember Hesh said on Steve's show, Pot Amongst Men, that he wasn't really with nothing outside of the actual recording. Where it was like he would rather do the behind the scenes shit. He would rather record, no smokes, this, that, and the third, all that going out in public, all that, you know, con stuff. It just wasn't for him. And I was hoping at some point where Bobby and Hesh would see the fanfare and the love that we were getting, and they would have a mind switch, and it just never happened. But it shows Bobby taking the initiative to grow. Pause. Well, here's the thing. Everyone who's putting their services out there, we need to hear now, because this is what the stream is for, to see how to move forward. I know Bobby says, I know I put it on myself. It didn't make sense when Hesh can't prioritize and you building multiple platforms. I know it can work. In reality, if it was, I would, in reality, Robbie says, if it was, New York wouldn't be against showing up every other week. I mean, like I said, you know, if people, because I'm not, but okay, let me address Bobby first. I'm not worried about me. All right. So as far as working on all these other multiple projects, if I was to put everything in chronological order of importance, this show is number 1. This is what I started doing before I started doing stand-up, before I started doing trivia, my 9 to 5 I don't fucking like. So this show is number 1. Everything I put into the show, every concept I came up with, every AKA I came up with, No Smoke, every guest I interviewed. I put everything into this show. And then when I don't put as much effort as I did before, is it because why am I working? Why am I doing most of the work and y'all doing what y'all want? I don't think it will move or get to the finish line fast enough if all hands aren't on deck. That's what I was saying. We all aren't on the same page. Because I know what I want out of it. I want a point where we can make this an LLC. We can get money off this from brands. We can employ others. We can just make money off of the podcast. We can make money, excuse me, to a point where we could do a 9-to-5 and do the podcast and be making thousands a month. And this show could just be whatever. But like I said, Hesh don't want to work. From my opinion, Hesh don't want to work. Now, as to why he can't make this a priority, I don't know. But from what I've been hearing for the past 260 some episodes, I don't know why this can't be a top priority for him. I personally, physically, mentally, spiritually do not know. When you go home and you essentially say that you do nothing but watch anime, read books, play video games, hang with your girl. Why? What is stopping you from making this show a priority? My only answer is that there's not a drive, a want, or a need for better. I don't think you want better. I don't think you want more. I think more scares you. I think complacency is the devil, and he's best friends with that nigga. Hesh prioritizes work mainly because it's his source of income. But if you I don't come home from my 9-to-5 and put less work into the things I want to do than I put into my 9-to-5. Hesh doesn't want a hobby. I don't know. I can't speak for Hesh. I'm telling you what I think. I don't know. I'm saying that as of right now, from what it looks like, from what Bobby's saying right now in this chat, Bobby wants to work. But it seemed like Bobby's, I don't know. Bobby seemed like he's saying the same thing I'm saying. Like, if we all ain't in this together, then what's the point? And what I'm telling Bobby is, hey, don't speak for me because I'm all hands on deck. Whatever the team need to win, I'm here. Don't worry about me. I find the rock out, wasn't mad. I was fine to rock out, wasn't mad at it. Then it doesn't make sense why you sent the initial text to say I'm leaving. Because like I said, but I said this before you popped in chat. I said last year, or like the end of 2022 to end of 2023, you said this might be my last year. And I was like, all right, cool. So this is the inevitable. I knew this was going to happen. But Hesh around that same time said he wanted to quit, and he said money was the issue. And then when I said, all right, I'll take on your part of the studio calls. And then he was like, all right, Hesh, don't get it fucked up. Hesh is a team player. When we ask Hesh to do something, it's like, yo, I'm down. Whatever y'all want, I'm down. I'm there. Now, does he want to do it in actuality? I don't fucking know. I'm just saying that what it seems like is either more scares him, or it's just like the work is just too much for him. Like, he just don't want to do more work than he really has to. Because this is an option. To do this podcast is an option. This is not something that we're legally obligated to do. Nobody signed a contract. We don't have to be here. As you can see, people can come and go as they please. There's no vacation time, no sick time. We can literally do whatever the fuck we want to do. And I don't think Hesh couldn't put it as a priority. I don't think he wanted to put it as a priority. And frankly, I think that's very sad that you see everything that's happening and just like, nah, I'm cool with just throwing it away. I'm cool with just not one more. And I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody don't want what I want. What hit me was when you said you didn't feel like me and Hesh only care 2 days out the week, and then I text you that's untrue because there's no way I can do all of that in 2 days. So I was highly offended. And I said that. I said that as well, because I said that I text y'all and said, I don't think y'all care about the show. I think y'all only, y'all edit y'all shit and then it just leaves y'all fucking brain. Just because I personally didn't see any intuitiveness. Like, I know you was doing your thing with the videos, and I know that's not an easy task. As a nigga that's tried to edit videos, I know that's not an easy task. But I'm just saying, on the other end, like, I always had to be the one to initiate a lot of stuff. I always had to be the one to get guests. I was like, hey guys, we should go here. Hey guys, we should interview this person. Hey guys, we should do a no smoke on this game on this day. And I'm like, why don't y'all ever suggest anything? Again, all it has to be is a conversation. All it got to be is 3 grown men just getting in a room, getting on a call, and like, hey, what the fuck do we want? What the fuck do we want to do? What's happening? What is going on in everybody's lives as to where you can't make this a priority, don't want to make this a priority, scared to, is it financial? Is it mental? Is something health-wise? Like, what's going on? And no one ever went down that road. It was just like the last episode that we did with Robbie and Khaled. It was like, all right, see y'all niggas next year. And then next year never came. And then, we get the text, what, 2-3 weeks into January? And I'm like, all right. Now, I don't know what went through Hesh's mind when you sent the initial text like, hey, I think I'm out. Maybe he was like, all right, finally, this is my exit. I've been waiting. I've been trying to find a way to get out of here. Or maybe he was, I don't know. Again, I don't want to speak for him. Bobby says, I put a whole keep of games to play in the Google Keep. It was there. And when you asked me to play the game, I said, okay. The only time I couldn't is when I got home late. And that was fine. I didn't disparage you or say, oh, what the fuck, you never put the show for. I didn't say none of that shit. I was just like, okay, we work the same job. I know, I'm tired. I don't want to do shit when I get home either. But because I have a goal I want to get to, and because I see where the show can go, I know that, all right, I'm gonna have to pull this energy from somewhere if I want to get this done. Now, if all 3 of us ain't on that same page, then it just don't get done and we push it to another day. But my thing is, when we barely did any no smokes, like if I was to count how many no smokes we did, I can't even pull it up right now, because like from 2020 to 2024, it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. And then nobody ever said, like, I don't feel like Bobby or Hesh brought up like, hey, no smoke's getting light. We ain't done one in a while. Let's hop on a no smoke. And I saw the games in the document, but it was like no one ever acted on it. No one ever said shit. And again, everybody got lies. Everybody gets forgetful. Things just might fall through the cracks. That's fine. But I feel like there needs to be like an open and clear communication as to what's going on. So where one person slacks, the other one can pick it up. I just feel like that wasn't happening at all. So my whole thing is like, I don't know what's next. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if changes are going to happen in Bobby or Hesh's life as to where they want to come back to the show. I don't know if they're ever going to come back to the show. All I know is I personally don't want to stop doing the show. Now, if I got to turn the show into something else where I'm just the host, or I get somebody else, or I get guest hosts, then so be it. That is all up to the dojo. And I doubt y'all niggas want to hear just me. But still, that is in y'all hands. I don't know what to do. I don't know what y'all want me to do. So, if y'all want to send me DMs, if y'all want to, suggest something in chat right now, if y'all want to, just ponder on it and I don't know, something. In 2020, you knew my situation. It's documented. It's changing jobs during and before editing everything off the phone. I'm well aware. I know everything. I know you didn't want to get the shot, so we couldn't go to BlurCon. I know that, you felt like that you had it prior. We was all sat down for 2020. I'm talking about when 2021 came, 2022 came, 2023 came. And I felt like I don't know if 2020 really fucked us up, or I don't know. I don't know if everybody just felt like tired because this is a thing. Like, obviously, when you do something for so long, you know, it's not new, shiny, and bright no more. So, the love could wane a little bit. But I still liked kicking it with y'all and shooting the shit. I don't think I could have did that shit with anybody else. It's niggas I've known for years. I don't think I could have did this shit with. And like they said, the fucking dynamic was great. So, I don't know. Phil Kaiser says draft new ninjas, even if it has to be split screen with ninjas in different cities. It's a possibility. I don't know. It's just, you know, like I said, I don't want to close the dojo doors because I don't have anybody else in mind to either be a permanent replacement or like a steady guest host as of right now. I mean, we have had dojo members come on, obviously, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if they want to make that commitment to the shit. But Robbie says, but the video aspect on the back burn for a bit, started without video, can go back for a while. It makes editing easier for the time being. I mean, it gets us back in the flow of things, but it doesn't promote us to anyone, because in order for us to get new listeners, we have to have a visual component. Not even like video. We have to have like a picture video component that people see. And now the way that algorithms work, and the way that, you know, the human mind and how we see stuff on our feeds on TikTok and Instagram, there has to be a physical video aspect, unless the audio is just fucking downright hilarious and we can put that up. Other than that, there has to be a video component. And without Bobby, the video component makes it harder to get to, because that takes more effort on me and Hesh's behalf. So, like I said, I don't know. Will they ever come back? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe they'll miss it. Maybe they'll say, hey, we can all get on the same page. Maybe we'll have a conversation. But as of right now, it's just me. I don't know. I was fine till the 2-day comment, because now I'm like, I'm doing all this shit and ninjas don't think I'm doing enough when I'm putting 80 to 100 on the side, on that side, with the topics and thumbnails. And then again, I didn't mean it as a slight. I just said I felt, because my feelings ain't facts. I said I felt like y'all don't give a fuck about the show. And now I said that solely because of what I was seeing, as far as just like, how can we make this show better? And niggas is just running in this hamster wheel of like, all right, record, edit, post, and then it's like, what else are we doing? We're not doing no smokes. We're not going to cons. We're not putting no money into the marketing. We're not doing the SEO stuff. We're not coming out with new merch. We're doing this. I'm like, yo, do y'all give a fuck about this shit? Like, there was times, it was like me, Hesh, and Bobby talked maybe once a week, and it was like, yo, what time we doing the show? And then that would be it. It was no further conversations. How about get a producer to do the promotion part, to take that part of y'all back? I mean, we could, but you know, that would either be, we got to pay somebody. I mean, whoever wants to do it, if you want to do it for the free ski, that's cool. We can't pay you right now, but again, if you believe in us, we gonna fucking put forth the effort. Edwin said, you can't just draft new ninjas. We're friends, family, brothers, etc. We go through things and have conversations as a family, which we're doing now. I'd rather leave the doors closed and see if they decide to come back. We cried for Kobe together. Goddamn, we fucking cried for Kobe together. We had a lot of good times, man. A lot of shit happened. A lot of people have passed on since we started. A lot of movies came out. A lot of stuff got canceled. A lot of stuff, you know, actually came to fruition. A lot of stuff has happened. And it sucks to see it go. It does. It really fucking does. But I can't force two grown men to be on the same wavelength I'm on. And back to the 2-day comment, Bobby. Again, I didn't mean that as a slight. Like I said, I just meant that as like I wasn't seeing the effort. And obviously I know, because I see the YouTube, I know it's not just a click of a button and the fucking video gets edited and goes up. I know that. I'm just saying, I wasn't feeling effort. So, you know, like I said, it's all of this could be a conversation. Y'all cry for Kobe. You stay with the stank face, Hesh. Like, look at these bitch ass niggas crying. Then I'm like, damn, that's the same thing. That's the same shit my last boss said, and I was putting in 70 hours a week. So I was like, okay. It wasn't even like that. I've known you. We've been through too much for me to just come at you and say, yo, you ain't doing shit. I feel like what I said and what you heard was like, nigga, you ain't doing shit. What the fuck is you doing on the show? I feel like that's what you heard. And that just wasn't the case. And if y'all know me by now, I don't know how to talk to people. My verbiage ain't always the best. I mean no disrespect. As somebody I gotta sit with one day a week, as somebody I'm trying to build shit with, I would never disrespect you. Now, maybe it came off disrespectful or came off as some bullshit, but it wasn't the case. I gotta see you on Sunday. No, I felt that was directed at both of y'all. It wasn't because I felt like the videos could be done and other shit could be done. That's what I felt like. Continue doing the domino effect. We'll tune in until we see what happens. I'm gonna have to do Dojo HR. Yeah, we need an HR department, man. But I felt like I was doing a bulk of the work, you know. It wasn't until I asked Hesh, I was like, yo, I'm doing the fucking audio editing. Yo, you got to do some of this shit. I'm doing way too much. He was like, okay. And then you introduced the video aspect. I was like, okay, I don't got to think about that shit no more. But everything else I was doing. And I felt like I had way more on my plate than y'all had on y'all plate. So if we got a guest, I got to interview the guest. If we got merch, I'm thinking of merch ideas. If there's a con coming up, I'm like, all right, what can we physically get to actually promote ourselves? It's just a bunch of shit that I'm thinking of on a daily basis to try to get this shit to grow. How much money we got to put into XYZ? I got to research fucking SEOs and all this other bullshit on Googles and Facebooks and YouTubes and Instagrams and shit. I'm trying to figure out how to make this show grow. And I'm just like, where's their input? Because every time I asked y'all for input on anything, it was just like, I don't know, or I showed y'all something and y'all was like, okay, that's cool. And I was like, I need more than okay, that's cool. I need some initiative. I need somebody to say something. I need somebody to come up with something. And Hesh, since you're here, if you want to add your 2 cents as to why you couldn't make this a priority, be my guest. Because we just had a whole conversation as to Hesh said that he couldn't make this a priority, and I don't think it was a priority thing. I think it was a thing where you just didn't want to work. You didn't do more work than necessary. It's not, I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not an interviewer. I'm not anything. I'm not asking you to draw up anything. I'm asking for ideas. I'm asking for something, anything. When it comes to interviews, y'all know who we gonna interview. Y'all have the same questions I have. I just write mine down. Don't expect me to ask every single solitary question. When I say, hey, it's the 3 Ninjas podcast and only one person is talking, that looks weird. I've never seen a podcast where there's an interview and there's a guest there and there's a group of hosts and only one person asks questions. That's weird. So I'm like, hey, even if y'all don't do extensive research, have like 2, 3, 4 questions in a tuck. Idea, ninja beard oil. We could have did that too. That's easy. Once we get to a certain tier, that could have been a thing. Shit, we could have had a brand deal for beards. Anything is possible. Anything was possible. All it took was for all of us to be on the same page. That's what I feel like. See, even the interview part, I feel like that's directed at Hesh, but you're including me. No, that's directed at the both of you. If I want to say something singular to you, like I've been doing, I would say it to you. When I send it in a group text, that is for both of y'all to see. I mean that for both of you, because from what I was feeling, I feel the same amount of effort was coming from both of you. It was like, hey, he did the audio, you did the video. What about all this other shit in the middle? Why am I the only one doing all this other shit in the middle? Because the audio is one aspect, video is one aspect. What about all this other shit? Y'all don't have no ideas about nothing. Y'all can't contribute nothing, anything. I love Hesh dearly, but I feel like Bobby's bow out was Hesh's opportunity to bail too. I feel like Hesh was wanting more, but didn't want to. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I feel like Hesh been waiting to go for a while. I felt like just body language and like verbiage too, because every time we took a break and we came back, you're like, oh, Hesh, how you doing? I'm just chilling, man. I was really enjoying that break. I'm like, that sounds like a nigga that don't want to work to me. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, are we on the same page? Can we get on the same page? Are we ever gonna get on the same page? Were we ever on the same page? Hesh is super introverted, so I get it and not mad at it. But I feel like all three of us are introverted, but we still go out and get what we want. And like I kept telling y'all can't work harder for that white man than you work for yourselves. Because, like I've told Hesh on the show, you getting bounced around from job to job, this, that, and the third happening, you not making the money that you should be making. Why don't you build something for yourself so you can be your own boss and they can never fire you? It's easier to talk to the interviewee when I can see the person. I mean, true, but we didn't have a lot of people close enough or willing to travel to actually interview. I mean, there was a couple I could have got in here, but like girls are real like fickle coming to G Studio, because one is a bunch of niggas, two, like you've seen G Studio, it just looked like a sex dungeon from the outside. It just looked weird, and trying to get somebody to come there where they never been there, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And that couch, the black couch, it looked like a casting couch. Bobby got the cameras. Hey, shit could happen. I'm just saying. But yeah, it's just real weird, because it's a couple like Instagram chicks with followings, a couple cosplay chicks. But like I said, it gets real tricky. And last thing I want to do is be one of them people that, you know, like, oh, this such and such happened because, or I felt really uncomfortable because it was three guys and whatever the fuck. What we were doing when we could see the dude via Skype, and then it's easier. I mean, yeah. What we did, like Nori and stuff like that. When we did Ernie Reyes. I think there was one more that we did via Hilton. We did a few with him via Skype or whatever, Zoom, something. Yeah, shout out to every guest that we've had on the Three Ninjas podcast. I can't name them all, but always shout out to Chris Green. Shout out to Danny Fernandez. Hey, baby. Shout out to Mona Marshall. Shout out to Ernie Reyes Jr. Shout out to Kevin Eastman. Shout out to Ben Bishop. Who else? Damn, I can't even. It's a lot. It's a lot of guests. I don't know if I can actually name them all. Always shout out to the Dojo for always coming through. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Robbie. Shout out to Dominican Cali, aka Joel. Where are our guests? Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Dominic. Shout out to Black Power Rangers Comedy Tour. Shout out to Phil Moore. Motherfucking Phil Moore, man. Great interview, great guy. I said Kevin Eastman already. Shout out to Lenny. She doing her thing. Shout out to Jemiah. He doing his thing. He got if you're in the Connecticut area, he has the a fighting game tournament every Saturday somewhere in Hartford. I want to post the link just to make sure people go. Shout out to Chris from Retro World Expo. Shout out to Nori. Shout out to Hilton. Shout out to Skinny B. She just celebrated her anniversary. I think she in Puerto Rico right now, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to, I said Hilton. Shout out to Steve, my man Steve, man. I gotta talk to Steve. I ain't had a real conversation with Steve in a minute. I gotta hit him up. Anthony Pisano, never heard from him again. So I guess thank you for coming on the show. Shout out to Milo the Cat. Shout out to Christy St. Martin. Shout out to Tatiana King. Shout out to Ben Hameen. Shout out to a For All Nerd Show. Shout out to Crondon. I apologize again for that interview. Shout out to Mark Coop, man. Arthel Isom from DR Stagio in Japan. Shout out to Jax. I forgot her. I think she changed her name. Her name is Jax Prince, I believe now. Shout out to Mr. Wobble. Who else? Shout out to Tamara Austin, hip hop gamer, Rob Markman. Who else? I said Ben Bishop. I said Mark Coop. I said Danny. Mona Marshall. Shout out to Justin Richburg. Shout out to Nathan Shorts. He was a developer on Toe Jam and Earl. Who else? Who's that? That's Chris. And then our first episode was Larry Kenny. So shout out to Larry Kenny. Crondon episode was iconic. Yeah, man. That was one of my drunk moments where it was like I don't know what's happening. I was too happy. I was excited. I'm not a leading interviewer. That's not my role. But if I have a comment, then I'll contribute. I'll shoot an ad lib once in a while. But the structured interview personality throws me off. It seems robotic at times. That's why I like talking to Chris, Steve Hill, and normal people. Everybody's normal. But yeah, I get it. That's not everyone's expertise. That's something that I built up over the years. Shit, I'm not. I didn't go to school for none of this shit. I just have questions and people I want to talk to. I do have some interviews in the tuck, so I guess in the next few weeks I will be putting those out. I got at least 3 interviews in the can. So yeah, man. I don't know what the future holds. How long I've been on here? Hour and some change. I don't know. Does anyone else have any more questions, comments, concerns, man? 3ninjapodcast@gmail.com for all that good shit. Like I said, I don't want to shut this down. I don't want to shut the stream down. I don't want to shut, this thing down. Like all the episodes are still going to be up on YouTube. Patreon. I don't know what y'all want to do with Patreon. If y'all want to cancel y'all subscriptions, y'all can. I think Bobby has his own Patreon. I have my own Patreon. So if y'all want to subscribe to either or, I think mine is patreon.com/HKDomino. I think his is his name and Prada Bob. Yeah, man, I just don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. I had a great time doing this. Gonna suck not seeing y'all do these. Hope it works out. Me too, Harry. Me fucking too. Shout out to Harry. How did I miss that? Shout out to Harry. Shout out to Manny. BST Wrestling. They got a show this coming Friday. So if y'all want to go check that out, I think it's in Hamden. Tickets are what, $15? I think for like basic seating. Then like a VIP package might be $20, something like that. So you can head over to Harry's page and it'll be BST somewhere. You can find it if you really want to go. So shout out to BST Wrestling. Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't know. Will we have a conversation again? I don't know. I don't know who would initiate the convo. I don't know what would happen. I'm gonna just say first that I'm thankful for y'all putting out as much as y'all did. Even when you didn't get the flowers y'all deserve. Hell, I was excited to see the YouTube notification. I mean, that's new. Episode drop. Yeah. I appreciate the shout out. Mad love. Appreciate you, Harry, man. Thank you for coming through. Always love, brother. Yeah, it was a thing where I was sitting here for a while. I was trying to figure out what to do, what to say. I don't really have a script of anything that I want to say. It was just like, hey, whatever happens, happens. Whatever, comes out of my mouth, it wasn't intentional to bad mouth with anybody or, say anything disparaging, because we sat around and made magic for fucking 6 years, so I would never disparage my brothers or talk bad about them. It just sucks. It sucks. like I said before on the last episode, that I've been losing co-hosts since I started podcasting, but I think those are just the ebbs and flows of podcasting. Robbie says collectively need to verbally talk and express the wants and needs, scheduling and etc. to find out who does what and what mindset going forward. That's if they want to. That's if both of them actually want to. When Hesh said he was leaving, I didn't do a follow-up. I just took it as, all right, wiping my hands clean of it. When Bobby said he was leaving, again, I didn't, inquire further. I just said, hey, it's cool. No malice. Y'all doing what y'all want to do. Well, Bobby Hart's still here. I mean, it seemed like, I don't know. You would have to ask Bobby. You would have to, have those conversations with Bobby through DM, or you can ask him now if he wants to, chime in and chat. Like I said, I didn't think they would be up for a final episode, quote unquote. I'm putting that in air quotes just in case it's not the final episode. You got to do follow-ups, man. But it's like, why do I have to do the bulk of the talking or the work? This is what I felt like. I was doing a lot of the work. I had to initiate convos. I had to start the conversation, and I was just like, hey, I'm not the leader of two other grown men. That's my whole thing. Cause you're Colt, but Rocky was the leader. If we're doing that, he was the green mask. I'm just saying, I was tired of like, hey, when we gonna do no smokes, guys? Hey, we going to this con? Hey, we doing this? Hey, what y'all think about this? I was tired of initiating that convo. I'm like, all right, when the fuck are they gonna initiate the convo of something, of trying to make this show or grow this show from where it's at to something even bigger than we ever imagined? Cause I see shows like the 85 South show. I've seen where they started recording, and it's just like three people with the same dream, with the same focus. Everybody's on the same page as to what the fuck they want to do. I see RDC World, and I see Mark. Mark he might be the face. He might have been the one that started off doing the skits, but when he got his friends saw him. They believed in him. They was like, yo, you getting some traction with this? We can actually take this farther than what we doing right now. And now look at them now. They throwing their old cons. Like when people came to me after BlurCon, they was like, yo, Dojo Con. I'm like, dog, it's an idea. We can do whatever we want as long as everyone's on the same page. I have no problem with dialing back. I have no problem with ramping it up. Whatever Bobby wanted to do, I'm down. Whatever Hesh wanted to do, I'm down. And I feel like that was them across the board as well. Very much team players. Whatever we want to do, if I can financially do it, fuck it, I'm down. Like we not gonna sit on opportunities. Any of y'all going to DreamCon this year? Like I see my money at. For the record, I'm not the first person nor the second person to flirt with leaving. I was the last. When did I say I wanted to leave? I don't know. Like I said this before you got in here, because Hesh said last year he wanted to leave, and I was like, I'll pay your shit. And he was like, all right, I'll come back then. I'm trying to figure out when I said I was going to leave. The only time I said I was going to leave is when I was going through something with my daughter. And I was like, you know what? It's a lot going on right now. Because when your child almost dies, you kind of want to take a step back and, kind of get things in order, kind of get your head in order. You don't want to leave her on Sundays until, she's good. So that's the only time I thought about leaving, if any. I don't even think at that time. I was like, hey, I need a break. I'm going through some shit. My child's fucked up. Kind of need to be there for her. So that was the only time I actually left, and I left for an extended period of time. What was like 2 months, 3 months, something like that. I had to make sure. Like I had to ask permission from her. Like, hey, yo, it's cool if I go to the studio. Like, you all right? You ain't gonna be gone when I get back, right? All right, cool. I'm gonna go to the studio. You said in the text, you're not doing it if we're gonna waste a year. Not doing no smokes. Exactly. I was saying because, again, I felt like I was putting in a lot of the effort, a lot of the stuff. I was doing a lot. And it was like, yo, what are we doing? I could put this energy towards the energy I'm putting into this. I could put in so much other shit. So I'm like, if y'all gonna waste another year, if y'all not gonna do what we've been doing or do anything new or try, in my eyes, I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. Because why am I here? That's not saying I don't want a pod just for the sake I don't want a pod. That's just saying like y'all not holding y'all into the bargain, and I don't want to waste another year doing this where I could be doing something else. Cause I don't know if you or Hesh like are holding strong on like the first point of like how I introduced the podcast to y'all, where it was like, hey, I just want to talk some shit and you know about anime and comic books and movies and this, that, and the third. And everybody was like, all right, cool. But then once I started seeing the podcast grown into what it is, I'm like, yeah, we could do so much more. And they be like, nah, but you had said we was doing just talking shit. You ain't say we was doing anything extracurricular. I was like, well, this is kind of what it evolved into, and now I'm on board. How do you think I feel with the energy I was pushing out videos? It's very demanding. It's a task, especially to do after work when you were working that other bullshit job. But again, we didn't ask you to do that. And if you were tired, say that. That's it. Like, yo, dog, I'm putting out one video. Y'all cool with that? Yeah. Hi, nigga, do what you want. That's your video equipment. That's your editing equipment. That's your time. That's your energy. You got kids too. Or a kid. I ain't gonna put that on. I ain't gonna put plural on you. But you got a kid. You got a life. I'm not gonna put that on you. I'm not gonna tell you that's what you gotta do. You're like, niggas, SMD. You know, don't tell me what I gotta do. I'm not telling you what to do. That was something you opted to do, and then I don't think you could take yourself at that out that mode, and then you was like, nah, I'm gonna just leave. Like if I actually told one of them what to do, like in an authoritative tone, I would expect the SMD to come, and I was like, you know what, I deserve that. So I'm not nobody's boss. I'm not paying nobody wages. So I could have been doing that and had passive income by now, but I was willing to stop doing the edits to do this. I was fine doing the clips. It's the 2-day comment that set me back. Well, then I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. That's all I could say. I didn't mean it like that. If I think I don't know if it was a thing of like we misread text in like a certain tone or something like that, but I don't know. I feel like if I would have said that in person, it wouldn't have came off the way it did. So I apologize if you took it weird or took it offensive. I didn't mean it offensive. I was just like, it was more like I wasn't even in a mood when I said that shit for it to be like offensive. I was just like, hey guys, you know what? I don't feel like y'all give a fuck about the show, man. It was like, I guess I was expecting like a different reaction. Like, yeah, I give a fuck about the show. Yeah, I want to do this. I want to do that. You know, I was like, it was just like conflict after that. I'm missing a lot of messages. Edwin says, when you guys take your beginning of the year breaks, I always thought that was the perfect time for you guys to take a step back and smell the roses a bit. No, not really. Everybody's just trying to get through Christmas and New Year's and, you know, trying to recoup what they lost with spending on gifts. Initiative to help grow. Robbie says, trust me, I'm dealing with that shit now. That's why I rather just talk, because text is doing the most nowadays. Text, yeah, they leave no tone. So now they sound crazier than they actually might be. So I not like I said, I know how Bobby took it now, where it was just like, I feel like y'all don't care about the show. And it's like, nigga, I get home and cut 7 videos. What the fuck you mean I don't care about the show? I know how it sounds now, but that's not how I was trying to convey it in text. So I don't know. Maybe this is my fault. I don't know. Maybe Bobby left because of me. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? And then who knows what Hesh was feeling? I need Hesh in here too, damn it. Hesh was in here. He probably left again. I don't know whether he's just staying quiet or what. I don't know what he's doing. But when I said y'all don't care about the show, it wasn't in a combative tone. It was just like, hey, what? It was more so like I was waiting for a certain response to retort a certain way. But it was like, yo, we gotta get on the ball, man. Like shit happening, shit growing. Like like people, you know, commenting and liking this, and they asking for this in my DM. I don't know if they in your DM like they in mine, asking for. Like Dion said, the Pokemon battles, they asking for no smokes, they asking for this guest, or they asking for whatever the fuck. And I'm like, yeah, we could do all that shit. it wasn't because of you. I already had the idea at the beginning of the year, then deaded it, then the comment. So so it was like I already had the idea. I had a feeling I wanted to be out, and then deaded it. He was like, nah, I'm cool. But then the comment came from Domino. He said that bullshit. He's like, fuck this, I'm out. So yeah, it was my fault. So it's my fault, guys. Blame the demise of the podcast on me. Because once Bobby left, the other domino fell, quote unquote, and Hesh boogie too. First the fat boys break up, and every day I wake up, what the hell is in the air? All these podcasts breaking up. Mandalorian and Bridget Kelly breaking up. Oh, see the thing broke up? Oh, I could have predicted that. Charlemagne knows is deflating. What? Bro, I was watching the last actual episode with my sister, and she's like, Bobby want to leave, and he's there crying at Christmas gifts and stuff. But it really be miscommunication, yo. That's all it be. If people just talk, a lot more things would be ironed out, because it leaves no gray area where now, because we don't talk, we're speculating what the other one is thinking. Now we don't know. Now I think this how Bobby feel. I think this how Hesh feel. Bobby probably think I think this way, or think Hesh, and then Hesh, he probably think Bobby feel a way. Or it's like, yo, if we all just talk, anything can be just ironed out. Miscommunication ruins everything. Kingdoms have fallen because of miscommunication. Everything just has to be conveyed at the right time. I don't think it's a stretch to say we all got respect for one another. I don't think it's a conversation that we can't have. We didn't have them all. We didn't have it from relationship, parental shit, personal shit, everything. I don't think it's a conversation we can't have. But it's just, maybe it's ego, maybe it's male pride, maybe it's just men are stupid and don't know how to talk. I don't know. I'm here just listening to everyone telling me I ain't shit. Joke. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what may happen, but like I said, do we need Hesh drink for him to air something out? I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, a drunken conversation would get everything out there. It wouldn't just be like, hey, I said 80% on what I wanted to say. So Hesh is here. He's listening. So if you guys have anything to type to Hesh, say it now, because he is here and being attentive. But yes, as to what the future holds, again, I don't know. I just don't know. All the episodes will still be available. If you want to go, you know what really made me mad over this whole break? I was listening to some of the episodes. I was like, man, we're fucking funny. We're fucking good. We're good. I'm not gonna say, we're the best, but I have time to listen to a lot of podcasts. A lot. Y'all know what I do. I walk around all day. I don't have a boss breathing down my neck. I can listen to a lot of stuff. And from the stuff I be hearing, we're good. We're good. We're good. I don't know. Mike, Pippa, Dennis, and Last Bulls 3P. And at any point, anybody could be Mike, Pippa, Dennis. I would say Hesh is Dennis, but sometimes I could be Dennis. I don't know. Sometimes she gets a little crazy, but Hesh might be Dennis because he says the wildest shit. Hesh is the wild card. Hesh is the most well-spoken but random motherfucker I've ever met in my life. I've never heard Snail Trail more than I've heard it from Hesh in my life. Never heard that from anybody else. Anybody. The shit that be on Hesh's brain, it be building up because he be at work not talking to nobody, and then he just comes to the pod and just lets the chopper fly. Good is an understatement. I've allowed myself to listen to other pods since y'all been on hiatus, and it just don't hit because everybody ain't the ninjas. Alex says, also, just as I guess my message y'all provided me with some great entertainment, meeting some dope people, and y'all created some magic. I mean, we did. We did. You weren't the first person to say that. You weren't the first person to comment that. You know, like I said, I don't like to big myself up and say that, you know, we did XYZ, we are XYZ. That's y'all saying that. And I appreciate it that much more because I don't have to. The Hesh Mom on Crack episode is goated. I chill. Y'all don't talk about his mom no more. And forever on my favorite episode list next to Twice as Joy. I mean, like I said, we didn't have some conversations, yo. We didn't did some stuff. And then the outpour from y'all, you know, we don't have, you know, obviously the fanfare or like the Instagram numbers of like a Joe Budden or a Joe Rogan or even like what was the podcast? See, the thing is, we don't have certain numbers of certain celebrities. We're not celebrities. We are trying to compete. We are normal people trying to compete with celebrities who already have the numbers and the following. And for y'all to fuck with us the way that y'all do, speaking for me, that's been the best thing about podcasting so far. I've been podcasting since 2015, I want to say. This is by far one of the best experiences I've had in life, not even in podcasting, like in life. Like to get the love and the fanfare, and for y'all to fuck with us the way that y'all do, I can't say enough about it. Being in Texas for many years, y'all helped me keep me attached to home. I mean, that's fire. Don't come back here, it's mad cold. Yeah, the community y'all have cultivated is amazing. I be talking to Mizu and Hefe all the time. Couldn't have told me I'd be shooting the shit about Tekken and anime with some random dude in Canada. Exactly. Chill. I don't like dresses. What? See, like what? I don't even know what that's in reference to. See, the thing is, they broke up. Now they wasn't doing too good even when they broke up way before Joe's network. Nah, I think when they broke up from Joe's podcast, I thought they was still rocking. Didn't they do like another 100 episodes and go on tour and stuff like that? Nah, the full-blown episode was crazy. That one clip from Bobby is all it took for me to check out the pod, and I've been hooked ever since. Oh, because you call Hesh then. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And he also married himself, so that was wild. Like I said, any point in time, we could be Jordan, Pippen, or Rodman. At any point. But, you know, I don't want to say it's over, but for the foreseeable future, it looks like it's a little longer break than we wanted to take. I don't know. Maybe at some point, you know, we'll all have a conversation to get on the same page where it's like, hey, all right, y'all tell me what the fuck y'all want to do. Because y'all know where I stand. What the fuck do y'all want to do? What do y'all want? What are we doing? Maybe. If not, then this shit will just be in limbo. And the episodes will just be up until our service decides to take them down because we ain't getting enough listens a week. And the fact that we still getting listens like every week. We ain't put out an episode in what, like 4 or 5 weeks? That's crazy to me. I got an Eazy-E shirt. And he say full-blown rapper every time thanks to you. I mean, that's a shirt I wanted to make, but I ain't want to get sued. I didn't get the reference because it's just a lot happening. There's a lot I'm reading right now, but yeah, it makes sense now. But yeah, man. Y'all got any more comments, questions, concerns? If anything, just let me know. Let me know what y'all want to happen. If y'all want solo episodes, if y'all want guest spots, if y'all just want me to shut the fuck up unless I got these two niggas next to me, like, let me know what y'all want me to do. Y'all could DM me. We in the Discord. Y'all know how to reach me on all the social media platforms. I don't know. But I don't know. I'll fucking rename this shit. I'll be the Lone Ronin podcast. I don't know. I'll just be by myself. Like I said, I do have two, 3 interviews in the tuck. I still got to edit one of them, but I do have 3 interviews in the tuck. We want the trio back, but we also want to see the dojo be successful. Solo for now, have guests until you draft new ninjas or the old ones come back. I mean, it's all something that I gotta ponder, something I gotta, you know, put time into. You know, I'm off tomorrow, so I'll probably take most of my day thinking of what the fuck I want to do and what the hell has to happen to keep the dojo intact, keep the dojo happy. You know, try to, I guess, get new listeners and followers over here. Y'all need to get in a room with a bottle and get straight. Hesh don't drink no more. His fucking Anglo-Saxon girlfriend told him he can't consume alcohol anymore. I'm joking. So, but yeah, it's all up in the air. I just had to come on and tell y'all what was happening because again, I didn't want to leave y'all in the dark for too much longer. All your comments, shrooms, solo episode could be every 2 weeks and maybe throw on an interview once a month. Help spread it out for another 3 months, essentially while y'all figure out what y'all want. Damn, she colonized his liver. Shrooms then. Shrooms could work. But yeah, man. Hopefully we figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll come to some type of conclusion. If I need to come on here and say, hey, them niggas ain't with none of that shit, it'll be a quick 10-minute episode. Or it might be a Discord message. I don't know. But, you know, we'll figure it out. If anything happens, obviously, we'll let y'all know. Hopefully, I won't take as long as I did this time. What's this, like I said, last episode might have been 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. I don't know. It's damn near March, and all of us ain't been together since end of December. Do I expect to hear from them? I don't know. Like I said, we didn't talk that much during the week when we did the show together. If one of them takes the initiative and wants to talk, I don't know. I don't know anything. Will I one day just be like, hey, what the fuck? Hey guys, missed y'all. What y'all doing? I don't know. But as always, I will keep you updated. I will let you know. Like I said, you can reach out to them as well. They're both still in Discord. So, you know. Obviously, as you can see, they both popped up in chat. You know, I appreciate y'all coming here for the tea. Like I said, this is the best live stream that we've ever done. I think at the apex of this, we had 25 viewers in here. I don't think we've ever had that shit when we wasn't going through so. So I appreciate y'all. This was nice. Yeah, this was nice. This was needed. This was necessary. This had to be done because obviously I also miss potting. And I miss my brothers, man. So it would be nice to get back in the studio. But again, I can only do but so much. And Bobby, I'm sorry again. I don't know how many times I can say sorry. I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, man. As of right now, I'm just gonna hit my 1-2, and I'm gonna walk down this lonely road that I'm on. I'm gonna get out of here. But anything else, my ninjas? All right, so Ninja Vanish. We out of here.